So when you complete a task, all you have to do is go to the progress/status dropdown, select done. It'll be removed automatically from your task list and be added to the bottom of your done tab. And I got a question asking how to set it up where multiple status options will send the task to the done tab instead of just one. And it's probably easier than you'd think to make this adjustment, so let me show you how to do it. So we'll go to extensions and then app script. And right here in the top section where you see done, we're going to select right before if and right after the curly bracket, and then hit copy and put a break right after that curly bracket and paste what we just copied. We'll change done to whatever that new option will be, so I'll put completed here. Then we'll go down to the bottom section and right before if all the way down to the second curly bracket, we'll copy, then paste it right after that second curly bracket. We'll change the first done to the new option. We'll leave the second done as done because that's actually just the name of the tab that we're moving the task to. And then we'll go to the top and save it. Now back on our spreadsheet, we need to add the new option. So I'll click on the drop down, then select the pencil. Then I'll add another item and I'll put that option that we just put in the code. And I'll move that to wherever I want it to be, then hit done, then hit apply to all. So now that option is part of the done tab. And if we select that new option, it will be removed from this list and moved to the bottom of the done tab. And just like last time, if we select done, it will work just the same. And if we go to our done tab, you'll see both of those present. And on our visualization sheet, everything is accounted for. Delegating tasks is actually pretty good for your mental health. So what if you're not the one completing the task and instead you're delegating it to your team to complete instead? Let me show you how to set that up. So we're going to go to column A and we'll insert one row to the left. We'll make that column a little bit bigger and then we're going to insert a drop down. In this drop down, we'll put each of our employees' names that we're going to delegate to. So I'll put Sophia and make her yellow and put Lucy and make her green. We're going to adjust the range to be A4:A, then press done and exit out of the editor. Now in our drop down, we should be able to select either Sophia or Lucy. And we can, so we're good to go. As a header, I'm just going to put assign, but you can put whatever you want. And now we're going to duplicate the task list and we'll rename that tab as Sophia's tasks. And then we'll right click on that tab and duplicate that as well. And this time we're going to rename it as Lucy's tasks. Perfect. So now that we have each tab created, all we need to do is delete the contents that are already there because we don't need those anymore. I don't want to have to update the start date in each individual tab. So instead of D1, I'm going to type equals. Then I'll select D1 from the task list. And now I'm going to go to Sophia's tasks. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'll put equals, then select cell D1 from the task list. And this one still has content, so we need to go ahead and delete everything. So that way it's blank. All right, so now it's time to set up the automation. So we're going to go to extensions, app script. And here we need to make some edits to what we currently have. So right now the app script is looking at column 4, and that's because the progress/status was in column D, but now it's in the 5th column, which is column E. So we'll increase that by 1 to 5, and then we need to adjust the timestamp rows as well and increase those by 1. Down in the bottom section, we need to do the same thing, so we'll change 4 to 5, and we actually should change 5 to 6. I made a mistake there, so that 5 should change to 6. We'll copy the if all the way to the second close bracket and paste that below. And for this part, we don't need the recurring condition, so we're going to go ahead and select that portion and delete it. And we're going to change column 5 to column 1 since that's where the employees are listed. And we'll change done to Sophia, and then change the target list to Sophia's tasks. Now we're going to copy this section, and then we'll paste it right underneath. And we'll do pretty much the exact same thing, but this time we're pointing to the right location already. So we're just going to change Sophia to Lucy, and then we'll change the target sheet from Sophia's tasks to Lucy's tasks. And that's all the adjustments that need to be made, so we'll go ahead and click save. And now we can go back to our task tracker and test it out. So I'll go ahead and select Sophia for one of the tasks, and I'll select Lucy for another task, and they should both disappear automatically. And if we go to Sophia's task or Lucy's task, you should see that automatically there. Everything's working as expected, so we're good to go. Now all the visualizations are built off of our done tab, so we want to include that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and expand column A, that way I can add a column to the left. And you can make column A bigger if you want to, but I don't really need to. But now we can go to either one of the tasks and mark those as done, and they will automatically flow from their task list into that done tab. And since we added that column, everything's aligned properly. And just like everything else in the done tab, it's now included in our visualizations tab as well. But what if we want to set it up where if you select one option, then it goes to one tab, and if we select a different option, it will go to a completely different tab. It's pretty easy to make this change, so let me show you how to do it. First thing we'll do is go into our drop-down and add a new option. So I'm going to put the option as completed. I'll give it a color. And I'm going to drag that option just beneath the word done. Then I'll hit done and apply to all. Now instead of going directly to our done tab, they're going to go to different tabs instead. So I'm going to click on the plus in the bottom left-hand corner and rename that tab as tab 1. Then I'll copy the headers from the done tab and paste those into tab 1. Then I'm going to right click on tab 1, click duplicate, and rename that as tab 2. And you can obviously add real names to these instead of tab 1 and tab 2. I'm just doing this for example. Now we're going to go to Extensions, App Script, and this brings up the code that's behind all the automation. So we're going to select right before if to right after the curly bracket where it says done, then press enter, paste that again, and then we'll replace the word done with the new option that we just added. And you'll see that both say row number 11, which is the timestamp row. We want those to match, so that's perfect. Now in the bottom section, we're going to select right before if all the way to the second curly bracket, and then we'll paste that code right below. In the top portion, we'll change the second done to tab 1 since that's a target sheet. In the bottom one, we'll change it to tab 2 since that's the target sheet. And then we'll change the word done to completed since that's our new trigger. And that's all the changes that we need to make, so we can go ahead and click Save up top and go back to our spreadsheet. So now we can go to our task list and we can test it out. So I'm going to go ahead and change this status to completed for one of them and change the status to done for another one of them. And if the code is correct, you should be able to go to tab 1 and you'll see one of those tasks flow through. In tab 2, you'll see the other tasks flow through. Now, since they're in different tabs, they're not going to show up in the visualization, and that's because the visualization is built off of these pivot tables, and the pivot tables are pulling from the done tab. So what we need to do is we need to compile both tabs 1 and tabs 2 into the done tab for everything to be working with the visualizations. I'm going to delete the content that's currently there, and we're going to build a formula there instead. So in cell A2, we're going to type equals filter, open parentheses, v stack, open parentheses. We'll go to tab 1, and we're going to select A2 all the way through the end of column L. Then we'll put a comma, and we're going to go to tab 2 and do the same thing. So we'll do A2 all the way through the end of column L. And it's important for these two to match, otherwise you'll get an error. We'll put a close parentheses and a comma, and then we'll copy that VStack formula, paste that right after that comma, and we'll go ahead and just change the range manually to C2:C for both tabs 1 and tab 2. Now after that close parentheses, we'll put not equals to, quote, quote, and then close it out. So what this formula is doing is it's stacking the contents of tab 1 on top of tab 2, and then it's excluding any row where column C is blank, and column C is our task description, which is the most important. And once we press enter, you'll see those two tasks that we just sent to tab 1 and tab 2 stacked on top of each other. In my current done tab, we don't have completed as part of the example, but you can add that if you want. And now when we go to the visualizations tab, you can see that both of those tasks are visible. And now we can test out the workflow to make sure everything is flowing through correctly. So we'll go back to our task list and we can select completed and done one more time. And those should automatically move to tab 1 and tab 2. And then they should automatically flow through to the done tab and be added automatically to the visualizations, which you can see that now we have 4 tasks that are there instead of 2. So everything's looking good. And that's it. Now we're done. Like and follow for more.